The tribes whispered about it, but never by name. Deep inside a part of the jungle no maps dare show, there's something alive, something ancient, something no human has ever truly seen. They say the forest itself rises to protect it, and when anyone gets close, the jungle fights back. It began with a rescue mission. A young tracker named Koda vanished chasing a wounded tapir into uncharted territory. It was a routine mission, a simple rescue that should have taken hours. But soon, fear replaced confidence. 2 hours became 3 days, the jungle offering no answers. Then on the third day, a scout staggered back to the village, his face pale, his eyes wide and darting. His hands trembled as he whispered. The jungle moved. When he finally stopped speaking, the elders gathered. No words were spoken, only understanding glances and shared memories of hushed tales passed down for generations. Finally, one elder, her face a map of wrinkles and wisdom, spoke up. "We knew this day might come," she said, her voice raspy with age. "The animal in those woods, it stirs." That evening, under the cloak of darkness, a rescue party ventured into the forest. With them, the weight of their ancestors' warnings. They pushed forward, determined to bring Koda back. But deep in the emerald heart of the jungle, something stirred. Deep within the jungle, amidst the cacophony of cicadas and the rustle of unseen creatures, the trackers pressed on. Their machetes bit into the undergrowth, hacking a path through the dense foliage. The air grew thick, heavy with humidity and the smell of damp earth. Vines, thick as pythons, reached out, trying to snag their clothes, their skin, and strangely, the injured tapir they were seeking seemed nowhere to be found. As night fell, the forest transformed. The canopy above turned into a tapestry of shadows and the fireflies emerged, their tiny lights blinking in eerie unison. Fear, like a living thing, began to stir within them. The whispers of the jungle, the rustling leaves, and the hooting of unseen owls took on menacing tones. Every snap of a twig, every rustle of leaves sounded like pursuing footsteps. Suddenly, a guttural screech split the night. It was a sound that seemed to come from another world, a primal scream that echoed through their bones. One of the trackers, unable to bear the cacophony any longer, broke and ran. In the ensuing chaos, they lost sight of their target. As dawn painted the sky with hues of gray and orange, they found Koda sitting calmly beside what was left of the campfire, his eyes distant, as if in a trance. When they asked him what had happened, he didn't respond. He didn't even blink. His stare was fixed on some unseen point in the forest. They tried to lead him back to the village, but he resisted, writhing like a man possessed. Finally, after much coaxing, he spoke. "The jungle showed me something," he said, his voice hoarse and strange. "Something ancient, something powerful." He shuddered. It wasn't friendly. Driven by Koda's cryptic words and their own determination to understand, the tribe decided to venture deeper into the jungle's embrace. Guided by Koda, who seemed to know the way, they pushed forward. In the following days, they discovered markings on trees, claw-like grooves, high up on the trunks, as if made by giant talons. These signs were not recent. They were ancient, their edges worn smooth by time and weather. They also noticed strange formations of leaves, as if disturbed by some unseen force, and the air crackled with an energy that made their skin tingle. One afternoon, while resting by a gushing waterfall, Koda suddenly bolted upright, his eyes wide with terror. He pointed deep into the jungle. "It's here," he whispered, his voice raw with fear. Before anyone could react, a violent gust of wind swept through the clearing. It was a sudden, unexpected vortex of pure energy. It uprooted small trees, hurled boulders, and sent the men crashing to the ground. When they looked up, dazed and confused, they saw one of their companions was missing. Panic surged through them. They called out, but there was no response. They searched frantically, but he was nowhere to be found. And then they noticed a new gash in a nearby tree, a mark that wasn't there before. It was a long, deep cut, as if made by a giant claw, and it still oozed a sticky black sap. Over the next few days, this pattern repeated. They would find signs of the creature's presence, a snapped branch, a disturbed patch of leaves, or a fresh wound on a tree, and then someone would go missing. Each disappearance was marked by a new, distinct claw mark, as if the jungle itself was leaving its calling card. The trackers were baffled. They couldn't comprehend the speed, strength, or intelligence displayed by whatever was inhabiting the jungle's core. They felt like ants under the observation of a benevolent, perhaps slightly sadistic deity. As the losses mounted and their theories failed, they had no choice but to retreat. As they left the cursed area, each man silently vowed to keep the secrets of the jungle. To the outside world, it was just another impenetrable, primeval forest, but to them, it was a place where ancient powers stirred, where the very trees and vines conspired to protect something beyond human comprehension. From then on, no one dared venture too deep into that part of the jungle. The old stories, once dismissed as folklore, were now chilling realities. The jungle's depths remained a mystery, its secrets buried under layers of leaves and time. However, the tribe's respect for the jungle's power did little to stop outsiders from intruding. Over the years, explorers, poachers, and scientists trespassed into the forbidden zone, lured by the promise of discovery or the allure of the unknown. But the jungle had a way of dealing with intruders. Electronic devices malfunctioned, compasses spun wildly, and cameras inexplicably broke. Any trace of civilization faded away, replaced by the relentless symphony of the wild. In 2023, a group of scientists, equipped with cutting-edge technology, dared to enter the jungle's heart. Their mission, to capture evidence of the elusive creature, they ventured deep into the Emerald Labyrinth, their senses dulled by the hum of machinery. Their first clue came in the form of ancient cave paintings, depictions of a creature so bizarre it defied easy description. It seemed to be a fusion of various animals, parts reptilian, parts avian, yet undeniably majestic. Was this the guardian of the jungle? Had it always been there? As they journeyed further, their equipment began to fail. Batteries drained, cameras flickered, and communication with the outside world ceased to exist. Yet they pressed on, driven by their quest. Then the incident started. One night, as they slept, the ground shook, not with the rumble of thunder, but with an earth-shaking stomp. In the morning, they found huge footprints, far too large for any human or known animal. Further on, their infrared cameras picked up a fleeting shape, something huge and vaguely humanoid moving between the trees. They chased the lead, but all they found were more enigmatic markings on the trees, as if the jungle itself was mocking their efforts. Days turned into weeks, and their mission became a fight for survival. They battled not just the elements, but a growing sense of dread and isolation. They were being watched, hunted, studied by an intelligence far beyond their own. But just as their hope began to dwindle, they stumbled upon a hidden clearing, and there in the center stood a magnificent baobab tree, its branches gnarled and ancient. Around its base were the most compelling clues of all. Fragments of broken cameras, shattered equipment, and torn notebooks, silent testaments to the jungle's wrath. At that moment, they understood. They were not just trespassers, they were intruders in a realm where rules were not made to be broken. They turned to leave, but it was too late. The jungle had made its presence felt. As they fled, stumbling blindly through the thick undergrowth, they heard the sound. It was a deep, resonant sound, like a sigh from a slumbering giant. They couldn't pinpoint the source, but they knew it was close, watching their retreat. When they finally emerged from the jungle, battered and shaken, they carried with them a profound respect for the wild and a story that would forever bind them to the mysterious jungle and its elusive guardian. The tribe believes this creature doesn't just live in the jungle, it is part of it. When the forest burns, rains, flood, or predators rise, it intervenes. It never attacks unless threatened, but it controls the vines, commands the birds, and walks without being seen. Some say it was sent by the jungle gods. Others think it's the last of something prehistoric, kept alive by nature itself. Even now, scientists try to track its presence. Drones fly overhead, heat scanners sweep the forest floor, night vision goggles pierce the darkness. But every piece of technology eventually fails. Batteries die, signals are jammed, and in every case, eerie sounds seem to fill the forest breath. Not animal, not human, just breath. If you ever enter that part of the jungle, you won't find bones. You won't hear growls, but you'll feel something watching, and every bird, tree, and whisper will push you away. Because this jungle protects one of its own, a guardian. A secret, a creature too rare for human eyes. And maybe that's the lesson. It's not for us to find everything. Some stories are sacred. Some lives untouchable. If this tale captured your imagination, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. This is Jungle Echoes. Rescue and mystery, where the wild still keeps its secrets.